Oh, Mario Kart, where do I even begin? Some of my earliest, most fondest memories have involved the long-running series, and I could do nothing but tip my cap to Nintendo for coming out with another banger kart racer, and I'm admittedly surprised at how controversial of a take that is nowadays, and maybe I'm just too chronically online, but I've been really saddened to see the reaction that a lot of people have been giving Mario Kart World online, at least this initial release. There's been filled with so much negative backlash for a ton of folks on Twitter, and maybe I'm just reading too deep into it, and maybe I'm just watching fruit flies complain about their flavor of dog shit, but I've tried to genuinely see where they're coming from with Mario Kart World, and granted, it's not free from criticism, but it's by far not the worst kart racer of the year, which is insane to me, because there had been a lot of kart racers this year. What are the chances? But since it's after the holidays and a ton of people have gotten their Switch 2 for Christmas, I was a little surprised to see on my timeline people actually praising this title for once. And it's a good thing, and they're taking it for what it actually is. A fantastic arcade-style drifting simulator with an $80 soundtrack that happens to come with a copy of Mario Kart. And I kid. But seriously, this OST needs to be studied in schools. It is fantastic. Please listen to it. Okay, so great, people have changed their tune about the title, but then why were people negative in the first place? Well, I won't name names, but I have straight up just seen folks on my timeline just openly admit they hadn't played the game up until recently, which to me is just bonkers. Look, I don't like Expedition 33, but I'm not going to tell you it's a bad game. I personally haven't played it, I just don't really jive with the art style, and every time I've seen gameplay, it just doesn't really look like something that would entice me that much. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to start turning to folks and say that this game is ass and that you shouldn't play it. And I know that the price is probably what separates these two from being compared, but it was the quickest thing that I can come up with. These two are fundamentally different games, I'm just trying to bring up a point. I think with the power of hindsight and the release of Kirby Air Riders, I've come to change my view on Mario Kart World just a bit. I was honestly planning on making a video on why Mario Kart World was a bad Mario Kart game a couple months ago before scrapping the idea, mostly because I didn't want to be negative for being negative's sake, but also because I was anticipating Sakurai's Magnum Opus so much. Where Kirby Air Riders is controlled and mechanically intensive, although only making use of 2 buttons, Mario Kart World is bombastic and simple, and that is a good thing. I didn't know how 24 racers would end up playing out, but it's exactly as expected. A cluster of separate war zones, only separated by what place you're in. There's a top tier, which you are usually in 1st through 6th, and then a D-Day style war zone, pretty much everywhere else with nukes thrown in between. It's quite fun. So, is that all that I really have to say about Mario Kart World? That it is fun? Well, yeah. But also no, I've always appreciated a game that's easy to pick up and hard to master, and Mario Kart World rides that line fantastically. I like to consider myself pretty good at Mario Kart, but when I see people really push the game's movement systems to its full capability, I am quite literally flabbergasted at what is possible in this game's engine. It always goes to show that there are truly levels to this shit, and it also gives me perspective that although the game can be trivialized with its movement and mechanics, it doesn't really leave the little guy either, making fantastic use of rails nearby to get onto grinding rails, which give you a little boost if you trick on them, and the newly implemented drift hop, which by holding the drift button and not moving the steering stick, you do a nice little Mario B-hop, which is great for getting to spots you really didn't know you could, as well as doing really cool wall grinds, which I really enjoy but also aren't very good at. Playing this right after Mario Kart 8, you'll see that you'll feel right at home. It controls just about the same, if little changes to character weight patterns, but if you're going back from Mario Kart World to other Mario Kart titles, you will quickly see just how sterile the Mario Kart formula had gotten by this point. And I love Mario Kart 8. God knows it's probably the definitive Mario Kart experience. But going back and playing it, just you can see the difference in art style, the difference in gameplay loop, and honestly, drifting is fun, but when you're doing nothing but drifting, it can get a little boring sometimes. And the game direction in general is a lot easier to pick up, but then feels so much better to actually go ahead and get good at once you actually play the maps. But that gets to another issue, which is actually playing those maps. Now, as I mentioned, World is not free of criticism, and the thing that I've been able to rationalize and experience the most is unfortunately something that I agree with the most. It is absolutely the intermission courses, and yes, The bread and butter of the game, the actual world in Mario Kart World, is connected, and it is quite impressive, and admittedly, it's not so fun to play on. These courses almost feel like a chore to actually choose when they're in the generated online map pool, especially with online courses, because you only really get 3 options in a random course, which for the most part will feed you what is already in that rotation. While actually on an intermission course, I am constantly thinking to myself if I would be having so much more fun if I was just on a normal 3-lap course. And I want to go ahead and preface this because all that fun, creative player expression that I had mentioned before is just simply not in these intermission courses, with very little walls to actually grind on. It gets to a point where the variation of asphalt or dirt or water, whatever you're actually driving on, is just, it's not as engaging as the actual courses. And once you do get to the course, you really only have 1 full lap before the entire race is over, because the first 2 laps were in that quote-unquote straight line that you were driving on, which really just isn't that engaging, isn't all that fun.
Damn, so Fookuh must hate those intermission courses, huh? They don't probably bring any value to Mario Kart World. It just makes it worse, huh?
Well, sir, I might agree with you if one specific mode didn't exist in Mario Kart World. Knockout Tour. Oh shit, sorry, I don't know how that Fortnite clip got in there, I'm sorry. I've got to admit, I was a bit skeptical once I heard there was going to be a BR-like experience in the new Mario Kart, and I was even more shocked when it was good. Granted, I wasn't able to play online with my friends until recently because a majority of my time of the game was spent near its launch, which that feature just wasn't in the game. Thank you, Nintendo. But when I was playing, it was some of the most exhilarating Mario Kart I had played in years. The anxiety from making damn sure you don't lose in 20th place was thrilling. Although I didn't, I lost. But when things are neck and neck, it is by far the most fun I've had in a kart racer of the Mario variety. And it's leagues better than Battle Mode, which I won't really mention because who the hell plays Battle Mode, but also because I've played a total of 5 matches of Balloon Trial, and it's just not something I've ever really enjoyed, at least not since Mario Kart DS, but it is in fact better than the original Mario Kart 8 version, that is for damn sure. So I can definitely justify, in my mind at least, the existence of the intermission courses, at least into the main pool of courses, just because of how much I like Knockout Tour. But it's a little sad for me that I won't be able to become as familiar with these core set of courses as I was with maybe Mario Kart 8, just because of how rare they are in comparison. Mario Circuit is my favorite course in Mario Kart World, and I have to go out of my way to play that course in full, or it's just a fraction of it, even maybe so. That being said, it's just not as engaging, so I'll definitely say stick to private lobbies and go ahead and just rerun those courses if you want to go ahead and just select what you're doing. Otherwise, the normal online map rotation still isn't genuinely that bad. You'll have a good time, you just probably won't enjoy the race as much. That's just a weird thing to say out loud, but it is the unfortunate truth. Real quick, I have a question, and it is, tell me something. What do you feel when you see these stickers? Stickers? Sorry, that one was a joke for Casey, but seriously, what do you feel? Because when I see these stickers, I don't feel like this is a very good reward. Because genuinely, sometimes while playing Mario Kart World, I'll just straight up forget that there is in fact a world I can explore. And the main reason I bring this up is because of the lack of cohesion and the lack of genuine spots of interest while quote-unquote exploring this map. And yes, there are coins to collect and P-switches that start mini-games seamlessly into the open world, which is very nice. That I will give Nintendo credit for. I like that it doesn't stop your immediate gameplay for you to go ahead and interact with these things, but when the things that you're interacting with are balls easy, and the reward is a stupid sticker that you can't even see during main gameplay, that's where I really have to draw my foot in the line and go, well, yes, although it is in quote-unquote open world, it's not a very fun open world. It kind of just acts as a backdrop for those intermission courses that I had mentioned. It is just a long stream of land that is essentially made for you to drive over. A lot of this stuff you can simply ignore and have a great time, which is exactly what I did. I ignored a majority of the open world and still had a fantastic time with this game. And it's a testament to just how good the core driving is. It's okay to give it a pass, but when this game is $80 and is set to be an amazing open world with a lot for you to explore, I definitely have to say the game just falls flat, and I'm waiting for the game to gradually get updated. It's still very early into its life cycle. I just don't know if it's worth exploring right now. If you're really into collecting things, then yes, I'm sure you'll have a great time. But folks like me, on the other hand, that are really just all thrills, no filler, this was just not for me. I did not enjoy the open world at all, although looking at it is very nice, and it's very pretty and well designed. That's about the only thing that I can really give kudos for. Unfortunately, this is absolutely where Mario Kart World drops the ball, but it's a good thing to know that it's not anything genuinely important. So all in all, is this the de facto Mario Kart game, and are you missing out on Mario Kart World if you haven't played it? Well, for some folks, yeah, you are. If you're balls to the wall and really love Mario Kart and you're a true racer fan, then yeah, you're probably missing out on an exhilarating and nitro-filled experience for the next 10 years that can confidently stand next to Mario Kart 8. If not yet, if you're thinking that maybe the amount of content just isn't worth sinking your teeth in, I personally am very excited to see the continuation and updates that are brought to Mario Kart World. Content-wise, the game is quite lush already as is, but can always be improved upon. With what I'm assuming will hopefully be free DLC, although with the way that Nintendo operates now, it will likely be paid. But as is, it's a fantastic racer. Is it the worst of the year? I don't know, actually. I didn't play Sonic Cross Worlds, but my buddy Egon did. He seemed to love it, and my Game of the Year period was Kirby Air Riders, so Mario Kart World isn't even my favorite racer of this year, but I felt the need to defend the game at least a little bit from folks who maybe don't think it's worth it or just haven't played the game. It's very mechanically intensive if you want to. Otherwise, it is very simple. It is core Mario Kart. And is Mario Kart World a Switch seller? No, but I think it's a Switch essential. I love Mario Kart, and I've adopted and adapted Mario Kart World into my rotation. I'm excited to see this game continue to get updates, and I will be there always for a match or two of Knockout Tour before bed. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys watching the video up to the end. My name's Fookuh. I will come back to Twitch eventually, one day, when I got a game to play. But I love you all. You take care. Bye-bye.